How do you mentally prepare for a bout? Nick, you want to take this one?
I think everyone has like their own, tactics that they gain through experience. But I think once you get older, you'll figure out what's best for you, And then you'll just get so used to competing that you'll just automatically mentally prepare.
I think the most important thing is to understand that it's totally normal to be nervous. I'm still nervous before bouts sometimes, and some people let the nervousness get to them. But for me, when I was able to really change my game and get mentally prepared for bouts, I knew I was nervous, but I used that to motivate myself to do even better. So the reason why I was nervous is because I had an opportunity to do something great. And so when you focus on the positives of the nervousness, then it can help you become a better fencer. If you let it get to you and you're nervous and you're like, oh my God, what if I lose? What if I do that? That's when it affects you in a negative way, and that's what you don't want to be doing.
How do you stay calm when it's 14-14? Calm under pressure.
When it's 14-14, everything's obviously on the line, so there's a lot of pressure there. But what helps me get through it is knowing how much work I put in beforehand. I know that I deserve to be there in that moment. I know I deserve to be there having scored those 14 touches. And then it's really about letting the action come to you. You, at 14-14, you generally already know what the opponent likes to do, what you've been hit on, what you've been hitting him on. Now it's about how you apply what you want to do on that last action and going in with a plan. For me, that's kind of how I operate. Even when I'm down 14-11, 14-12, even 14-8 at the Olympics, I came back and won 15-14. It's all about executing your plan and then letting it come to you. At that moment, it was really about getting into the groove and then trust yourself, trust your actions. If you have those 14 touches, you deserve to be there. So you have to trust yourself and trust that you know how to hit them, and then commit to the action that you want to do. Don't let them be the one to commit to their action.
At 14-14, like you said, you can't win the bout if you don't have a plan. Like at 14-14, before the ref said fence, you have to have an action in your mind, because there's ready fence, something's already can happen, So you have to have a plan, a ready fence, because you have a whole bout and you know what actions has been working. So you picture the action that you want to happen.
Chase?
A drill that we've been doing this week it's just a one-touch bout. So it's the same thing as if it was 14-14, whoever gets that touch wins. Before, I always have a plan, and even if it doesn't go to plan, I have another plan to back it up. So even 2 plans, a plan for your plan, sometimes helps me out.
What kind of mental exercises do you do outside of fencing?
Mental exercises outside of fencing.
I generally like to keep my mind fresh. Before I was a professional athlete, I was in school. So for me, I use school as a way to keep my mind fresh and keep myself thinking on other things that aren't fencing. Because if you think about fencing 24 hours a day, you'll burn out, you'll lose the love for it, you'll lose the passion. So I always did school. But then the year I took off, before the Rio Olympic Games, all my friends were still in school, but I couldn't just be at home playing video games 18 hours a day when I'm not fencing. So instead, I took up music. So I learned how to play the guitar over the course of that year, and that helped me focus on something that was outside fencing, but that also, used the mind, uses rhythm, uses all these different kinds of skills that actually are very effective for fencing and for life as well. I think the most important thing is just to focus on the 15 touches, right? If you lose a couple in a row, yes, it's frustrating, but ultimately the bout's not over until that 15 touches scored. And so if you focus on what just happened and you're going to dwell on it, that's the wrong way of approaching a bout. You can synthesize the information. Why did I get hit last touch? Why did I get hit the last 2 touches, right? But synthesizing it and letting it get to you are 2 very different things. So instead of focusing so much oh, that was so silly, that was like I know I shouldn't get hit that way, be like, okay, I shouldn't get hit that way, but this is what it is. What am I going to do next touch? You know, just like as we said about 14-14, have a plan to go in for the next touch. Because oftentimes when that happens, it's because you get frustrated and then you go on guard and you don't have a plan.
You can't, like, the worst thing happen, you're fencing a pool. Let's say you lose one bout, and because you're so fed up about that one bout, you lose like the next two. And now you're 3-3 in pools, and that's a whole nother scenario. So you could have came back from that bout and finished the pool and had a good day, but you let that one bout dictate the way you fence next is a huge problem. So you focus on your actions rather than what the score is or like what you need to do. What you're getting hit on is important to analyze and figure out what your next action is.
If you're down on yourself, it's proven, for me at least, that it does not help your day at all. And just getting yourself out of that mood, keeping your head high, and just knowing that you've prepared for it. Don't try harder, don't try faster, but try smarter, or try a different action, or try something else. So you can't just keep pounding if it's not working. You need to change something.